السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعزائي طلاب وطالبات الصف الثاني الثانوي دفعة 2023-2024، كتاب مايسير page 22، نصوص القراءة ونصوص الاستماع الموجودة في Unit 1 Staying Healthy. Reading text number 1. How to perform first aid. Number 1. If you find an ill or injured person, you must check the area around them first to make sure it isn't dangerous. Then move closer to the person and look carefully at him or her. Does he or she seem to be very ill? Does he or she have severe injuries? Number 2. If the person is awake but not bleeding, you have to ask him or her how he or she feels and what happened. Check his or her body for signs of injury or infection. You don't have to touch the person's body to do this. Number 3. If the person doesn't reply, touch his or her shoulder or foot and shout to see if he or she reacts. And remember to check for normal breathing. Number 4. If the person isn't breathing, someone must call the emergency services immediately. 123. Number 5. If you know how to perform CPR, you have to do this to help the person start breathing again. However, you mustn't do CPR unless the person is lying on their back on a flat surface such as the floor. Number 6. Place your hand on the center of the person's chest. Put your other hand on top of the first hand and lock your fingers together. Make sure that your shoulders are above your hands. Number 7. You don't have to press down on the person's chest very much, only 5 to 6 centimeters. Keep your hands on their chest and allow it to rise up again. You have to do this 100 or 120 times a minute until the person starts breathing again. جدول المعمول دوت عشان انت بعد ما الطالب او الطالبة بعد ما تحفظ الكلمات تبدأ تسمع على نفسها الكلمات المهمة في هذا الدرس. Listening text number 1. Athletic Heart Center, AHC. Most of us know that we need to stay healthy, and many of us enjoy sports. But some young athletes believe that they don't need to worry about heart problems until they get very ill. However, health experts agree that athletes must get a special heart examination before they can be completely sure that they don't have a problem. For example, in 2006, Muhammad Abdul Wahab was an Egyptian footballer from Fayoum who seemed to be very healthy. At that time, football clubs didn't have to check their players' hearts. But then Abdul Wahab fell down while he was training, sadly. Although the emergency services took him to hospital, Abdul Wahab didn't survive. Fortunately, Egypt became a pioneer in athletic heart center in 2018 when it established the first athletic heart center in the Middle East in Wadi Nil Hospital. It was decided that the AHC had to have the best technology to check every detail of an athlete's heart. And Dr. Hazem Khamis, the hospital director, has said that the center will help to protect everyone who enjoys sport in Egypt, and it will work with Liverpool John Moores University to help athletes abroad. Dr. Ahmad Ashraf Isa, who is the executive director of the center, also believes that anyone who does any kind of sport should check the health of their heart first. For example, the members of the Egyptian national handball team take full tests of their hearts before major competitions such as the World Handball Championships. And now Dr. Hazem and Dr. Ahmad have published a book together so that everyone can understand the importance of having a healthy heart. It's called Athletic Heart: Between Dreams of a Trophy and Sudden Death. Young athletes and their families mustn't miss this chance to learn about the importance of heart examinations to stay fit and healthy. Listening text number 2, workbook. Keeping a healthy heart. Of course, not everyone will become an athlete or a footballer, but that doesn't mean we should forget about our hearts. So, what should parents do to help their children stay free from heart disease? Your heart pumps about 380 liters of blood through your body every hour. This is a lot of work. In fact, your heart has to work harder than any other muscle in your body. This is why we need to keep it fit and healthy. We all need to exercise for 30 minutes every day if we can. We should all get lots of exercise. That means mom and dad as well as the children. Try to walk, cycle, swim, or play games outside as often as you can. Play together as a family and it will be more fun. If a child decides to take up a new sport, send them to visit a doctor to check their heart first. They'll probably be fine, but the doctor will need to do some tests to check. Eat healthily too. Show your children that they need to look at the labels before they buy something. They mustn't eat too much of something if it has a lot of salt or fat in it. Eat well, do lots of exercise, and you should have healthy hearts for life. Reading text number 2. Read Mahmoud's email to Faris. Hi Faris, how are you? It's great that some of your friends are going to take a first aid course next week. I really think you should join them because everyone has to know how to do first aid. You never know when someone you know will injure themselves and you'll have to help them. You would want other people to help you too, right? I'm sure you would be great at doing first aid because you can think fast and you know how to stay calm in different situations. You don't have to become an expert. Just learn enough so you can help someone until the emergency services arrive. The 2-day course your friends want to do sounds perfect. Talk to you soon, Mahmoud. Reading text number 3. An email to a health website. 2. Health today at mail.com from Shadi at mail.com. Dear Health Today, my cousins Imad and Munir are visiting me again for a few days, and it's always a pleasure to see them. Unfortunately, because they are both less than 7 years old, they sometimes forget how important it is to keep clean and stay healthy. At the moment, many people in my area have the flu, and so these things are even more important than usual. What can I do to persuade my cousins to change how they behave? They often come very close to show me things like photos they have taken on their phones or something funny that they have found. And when they cough, they do not cover their mouth. They don't seem to understand why it is so important, and it worries me a lot. I'm so worried when I see them come inside, because I don't think that they always wash their hands after they have been playing outside, touching things and getting dirty. They will clean their hands when I ask them, but I always have to remind them to do it. I have heard that young children don't usually get very sick from flu, and so they don't give the flu to older people. But I don't know if that is true. Do you think that I am right to worry? I look forward to hearing from you. Yours, Shadi. Listening text number 3. The immune system's main function. Our organs are the parts of our bodies that help us to do things. Like the brain that thinks, or the heart that sends blood around our bodies. The immune system comes from the cells and organs that work together to protect us from diseases. The immune system does this by destroying things that get into our bodies, like viruses. A virus is a very, very small thing that causes a disease. The disease could be something ordinary, like the kind of cold we all get sometimes, or it could be something serious like COVID-19, which first appeared at the end of 2019. When a virus gets into a part of the body, a message is sent to the immune system. Then the immune system reacts by sending cells to find the virus. Cells are the smallest separate living things in our bodies, and they are small enough to fight against a disease. Some people's immune systems work better than other people's. We all want our immune systems to be strong so we can stay healthy. So what can we do to help? We can boost our immune system by eating a lot of fruit and vegetables, especially vegetables with green leaves. We also need to exercise regularly. We don't have to run 50 kilometers every day, but we need to be as active as possible. We also need to make sure that we get enough sleep. For most people, that means at least 7 hours every night. Finally, we must do things like washing our hands regularly, which will help us to avoid getting a virus or an infection in the first place. We also need to do things like covering our mouth when we cough to stop other people getting an infection or virus. Video script Unit 1. How to do CPR. Have you heard of CPR? It's short for cardiopulmonary resuscitation, and it's a technique you perform on a person who isn't responding and isn't breathing. CPR can help someone to stay alive until an ambulance arrives. So, before you start performing CPR on someone, you need to call an ambulance. Then while you are waiting for the ambulance, you can start performing CPR with your hands. This is the easiest way of performing CPR and the technique that's used the most often. Start by getting down on the floor next to the person and putting the base of your hand on the bone in the center of their chest. Then put your other hand on top of that hand and put the fingers from other hands together. Move so that your shoulders are above your hands and press 5 or 6 centimeters down onto the person's chest. Then keep your hands on the person's chest, but stop pressing on it. The chest will come back up again. Repeat this 100 or 120 times a minute, every minute until the ambulance arrives. ولا ينسى جميع الطلاب والطالبات دراسة والاهتمام بلانجويج نوتس الموجودة عندكم بداية من page 27 من صفحة 27 إلى صفحة 34 ومع تمنياتي بالتوفيق لجميع الطلاب والطالبات، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.